Hey guys, it's Preston again. Today we're going to talk about a topic that's debated all over the place. Are barbers self-employed? Yeah, you're self-employed. You go to school, you pay for your own school, most of us. You are self-employed as far as the government sees it, as far as the IRS sees it. You're self-employed to the extent that you are required to keep track of your income and file and pay your own taxes. Nobody's gonna do this for you. Nobody's gonna help you. I think that they should make business a part of barber school, teaching you how to keep track of your income, teaching you how to keep track of receipts in case you're audited for your taxes. Man, you have to get a filing cabinet, one of those little plastic files, anything that will allow you to keep things in one spot and be able to go back to them. You got to have an income and expense tracker or something, whether it be like an app on your phone or that's something real simple. You know, at the end of the day, you figure out what you made, put your income in the app. If you spend money, something related to work, something whether it be tools or neck strips, consumables, aftershave, shaving cream, anything that's related to barbering, to working in the barbershop. Keep your receipt. You can write that off. You can use that on your taxes, so it'll help you keep from paying all the money in taxes. But you have to have something. It can be real simple. You know, I used to have an app on my phone that I used when I was a new barber. I would just keep track every day of what I made, and it had an income place where I could put money that I made, or it had an expense tab that I could keep track of. And believe it or not, it came in really useful. I know a lot of barbers, and a lot of them have no clue what they make every year. They don't know what they make from week to week. When it comes to your schedule, you can look back on your app or your software, and you can see what days were busy. You can start to see a pattern. Wednesdays are real good days, or Mondays are horrible. I've worked 6 and 7 days a week pretty much my whole barber career, and I just recently started taking Wednesdays off in the barbershop. I do appointments only, and I charge more for it now, but it's mostly for I wanted to have time to be able to do videos, and when I'm in the shop, it's non-stop most of the time, so I don't really have time to do videos and stuff when I'm there. So anyway, I got off topic. Sorry about that, guys. Get you an expense tracker, an income tracker. It'll help you in more ways than just keeping track of your income. I know that this next thing that I'm going to say, everybody's going to be in an uproar. Claim all the money you make. This is mostly a cash business. It's no secret, man, that a lot of barbers out there, they're not claiming what they make. They're claiming a percentage, depending on who the barber is, or they may claim 10%, they may claim 50%. Man, some don't even claim at all, and that's just ridiculous. What's the problem with not claiming what you make? What happens when it comes time to buy a vehicle? What happens when you need to buy a house? anymore, man, you have to have provable income just to rent a place to live. I'm not talking about, going to the bank and saying, hey man, I want to buy a $200,000 home. To rent, to have a roof over your head, you have to be able to prove income. And if you're not keeping track, if you're not claiming what you make, man, the numbers just don't add up, and people, it's going to be really hard for you to not be able to prove what you're making. Also, one day you might want to retire and pay into Social Security and stuff. That might be a good idea. Basically, part of being a professional is doing things in a professional manner. Keep track of your income. File your taxes, pay your taxes. Do what you're supposed to. You're a professional. Now that we've established that yes, you are self-employed in certain ways, let me say this to you. Unless you are the shop owner, unless you own the barber shop you work in, he said the owner sets the hours and the prices. If that's one of the things you should discuss before you go into the barber shop, go start working at a barber shop. What are your hours? What do you expect from me? What hours do you expect me to work? Honestly, if you're going into this not wanting to work hours, man, I hate to tell you, you went in the wrong trade. You have to put in hours. I worked 65, 70 hours a week most of my career. You have to work the hours. You have to put the time in, especially in the beginning. Listen, especially in the beginning, you have to put the time in. If you don't, it's going to be bad. You're not. I know barbers that try to work 1, 2, 3 days a week in a client and try to build a clientele, and it just doesn't work. It's not going to work. If you're not willing to work at least 40, 50 hours a week, you're going to have a rough time building a clientele. With that said, there are exceptions to the rule of he sets the prices and the hours. First thing about the hours, if you and the shop owner come to an agreement, say he has the shop open from 8 to 6 on a Saturday, and you have an obligation every Saturday afternoon, and you go to the shop owner and you're like, hey man, look, I have this obligation. I have to be there at 4 o'clock every Saturday. Can I leave at 3? Well, if that's your arrangement and he agrees to it and it's agreeable on both sides, then that's not an issue. Another thing about the prices, the first shop I worked in a long time ago, the haircuts were $10 each. After a while, I was a newbie barber coming out of school. It took me a while to kind of figure out what was going on and really try. I was watching other barbers. I was trying to figure out my own style, and it took me a while to figure it out. So after a while, I went to the shop owner. I'm like, hey man, I'm doing add-ons. I'm doing more than what you consider a regular haircut. Can I charge for it? I'm doing edges, I'm doing designs. Can I have an add-on to my service? And he said, yeah man, go ahead. So in that case, you can have add-ons. That's another thing you need to discuss with your shop owner is, what is a haircut? What do you expect to do in a haircut? And if you're doing more than that, then ask the shop owner, hey man, can I charge $5 extra for an edge, or if you're doing a shave with a razor, can I charge a couple dollars to do eyebrows? Whatever the case may be. I'm just throwing numbers out there. I'm not saying, that that's the numbers you have to use, but I'm just giving you an example. Another thing is, in my 10 years, over 10 years in the barbershop, I've never knowingly charged an active duty serviceman for his haircut. If you fight for our great country, the least I could do is give you a haircut. I've never had a shop owner complain about it. I've never had anyone say anything to me about it. So if it makes you feel better, talk to your shop owner. Say, hey man, look, I feel like that this is something I could do for the servicemen and women. And I'm not saying you have to do it. It's just something I've chosen to do in my career, that I don't want to charge servicemen for their haircut. Hours in this industry, it seems like people think that they can just come and go as they please. And the owner of your shop has a set business hours and clients, and they expect you to be there during those hours. I understand things happen, you know, nothing's perfect. Things come up, kids get sick, anything can happen. We understand that. The shop owner that you work for understands that. The point is it shouldn't become a weekly or a daily thing for you to be missing time, you know, large amounts of time, any time really, in the shop. Especially new barbers, I have to say this again, especially new barbers, you have to be in the shop. You have to stand behind that chair. You have to put your time in. If you don't, it's costing you, it's hurting you. You're not learning, you're not gaining experience. Every haircut you miss, you're missing experience. The next thing I'm going to say is about being self-employed. You have to invest in your business. You have to buy good tools. Get business cards made. Take care of your station. Take care of your area. Dress professionally. Look professional. Act professional. Man, we want to be professionals, but nobody wants to do what it takes to be a professional. You have to play the part. You have to be the professional if you want to be seen as one. You have to continue educating yourself. Listen, I've talked to many barbers, new barbers, and there was a time when I thought the same thing. Once I graduated school, man, I knew everything I needed to know. And now it's just time to go cut some hair and make some money. Over 10 years later, I know that that's not the truth. That is actually the furthest thing from the truth. I learned from watching the guys, you know, Chris, 360 Jeezy, Beam Team. I learned from watching these guys, little nuggets that I've been calling them. That's changed the way I do some things, and it's working. So you have to educate yourself, learn. There's something you see on Pinterest or Instagram, you don't know how to do it, YouTube it, Google it, go to a class, ask somebody, ask an older barber, ask a more experienced barber. If you want to know, you can learn, you can figure it out. Be a sponge, man. Be a sponge. Soak in everything. Finally, if you're not willing to do these things and put everything into this business and trade, man, you really shouldn't expect big things out of it. And I think that's true for everything in life. If you're not willing to give it all you got, you're not going to get much out of it. It's not really going to be what you want. You know, I see barbers. I know a barber that got out of school. He had crappy tools. Ended up opening his own shop. Never really had much of a clientele. Skated by for a year or so, and just an old beat up shop. Ended up closing his doors, and I heard him tell somebody one day, you know, being a barber, you don't make any money. No, That is wrong. That is the furthest thing from the truth. If you're gonna be a half butt barber, if you're gonna just kind of skate your way through it, you ain't gonna make money, man. And you shouldn't expect to. That guy out there that's put in 100 hours a week, that guy that's working 12 hours a day at the shop and coming home and watching 3-4 hours of videos trying to learn, put everything into it, that's the guy that's going to make money. If you're not willing to do the work, it's not going to work out. So anyway, that's this video for today. I hope y'all can learn something from it. I hope y'all took something from it. Until next time, it's Preston. Peace, y'all.